All right, so we're all good to go. So I guess we'll just start with question.
I know that one. Well, I think. I don't want to sound too confident because I might be wrong. I put transactions demand for money.
Yep, that's what I got.
Sweet.
Yeah, this week I feel like was a little rougher for me, like trying to comprehend everything. It just feels like a lot this week.
Yeah. A decrease in the interest rate. Is this the last one
That's what I put.
for number 2?
Okay.
Oh.
Was this
What is
one
the
that
stored value?
This is store of value, yeah. I just looked up the definition.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It says store of value.
that's what I had put, but I couldn't remember why. So
That's what I was thinking, just because, yeah. Measure of value isn't a thing, right? Or is it? No, it's... I forget what that word is. Anyway.
I mean, it is a measure of, but I don't remember if it was measure of value but it was as a measure.
It's a different term, but it means that.
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't that term, but it had the same meaning.
What's that medium of exchange, though? I don't remember what it was. Oh, well.
So in this one, I put an increase in nominal GDP will increase transaction demand and total demand for money.
So the first one?
Yep.
That's
And on
what I
that
was...
one, it's because transaction demand and GDP, nominal GDP, they go together. So they're not inversely related; they are directly related. So as GDP
Right.
increases, transaction for demand also increases. Transaction demand.
Okay.
And then the asset demand of money is inversely related to
Line 1, isn't it?
yeah. Yeah, because it's inversely related to GDP or to interest rate. I mean, it's inversely related, so it is downsloping.
Number 6, would it be the third one?
That's what I put.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And this one, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, but there is a question very similar to this on the actual quiz. Or there was on mine, so just be aware of that.
What did you say? Sorry?
There is a question very similar to this on the actual quiz.
Okay.
Oh, because you already took it.
Yep.
Yeah,
this is the last assignment I have
You're getting ready for the weekend. That's right.
Yeah, this is the last assignment I have for econ this week because I'm trying to get everything done well in advance.
Wow. Good to know. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't have said that on an actual recorded video.
You did. You didn't say. Well, you just said it's similar. You didn't give us the answer though.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I doubt he actually like.
It could be.
So.
Can the cause effect change? Oh, gosh.
I have a question. You know those extra assignments at the end of each chapter? Are those extra,
To learn smart.
or did I make that up?
Yeah. So each one you complete is 1 point towards an exam. So like, if you complete 5, and I think he puts it on at the end of the semester. So like, if you completed 5 on one of your exams, let's say you had an 83, it will go from an 83 to an 88%.
Pretty good. I'm gonna go back and do all of them.
Or like, I don't know if you have to finish them before that exam though.
Oh, really?
I think you do. Yeah. So you
Well,
can
then
only do it for the unit.
For the next
Yeah,
one.
Yeah. So maybe he does do it, I guess. In Econ 150, they just put it on at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But I think his it goes on the exam of the ones that were in that section.
Okay, I'll just do
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, I'm like, I should do it from now on, and then I never have time.
it.
But I should make time for it. This question's confusing me, and I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a lot of words.
That's what I was thinking. I keep reading it, and I'm like, I don't know what it's asking me. Because of the chain making. I'm thinking the second one.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. That's the only one that really makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's the one I put.
Leave it. The other ones are just, I feel like that statement is false. Except for the second one.
Yeah, I mean, a decrease in excess reserves will increase the money supply. But yeah, I put the second one as well, so that's what I'm going with, is the second. And I think I looked this one up in the book, but I don't 100% remember.
We'll just go with that then.
Yeah.
Did we decide on the seventh one? It's 2?
Yeah, the second one.
Okay. Is this the third one?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yep.
Cool.
And this one, the only one that really made sense to me was number 2, the quickness with which it can be used. Because that was what they were talking about.
That was in the book, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's quickness, and it's also their ability to not be affected by political are the 2 biggest benefits of monetary policy over fiscal policy.
Right.
And this one I wasn't 100% sure on. And I couldn't find it in the book, so I just guessed.
I think it might be E's monetary policy.
That's what I put. That's the one that made the most sense to me, but
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. That makes sense.
and these are the ones that confuse me on how what buys and or what lowers and what raises the federal funds rate. But if I'm not mistaken, it was inversely related with the bonds, right?
I don't completely remember. Do you remember what page it's on?
I don't. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Let's look for it. We're looking for him. It's probably under targeting the federal funds rate.
Yeah, and I thought it was if you buy, that decreases the federal funds rate, and then if you sell, that increases it, but I can't remember specifically.
The quantity of... Looking at that graph.
Okay, the supply of funds increases, lowering the federal funds rate to the new targeted rate. Okay, to achieve that lower rate, the Fed will use open market operations to buy bonds from banks and the public. We know from previous discussion that yeah, so that's the answer. So they buy.
But if they were trying to increase it, they would sell. Okay.
Yep.
Is 12 the third one?
That's what I put because they do, while they're not exactly the same, they do track together. So if the federal funds rate increases, so does the prime interest rate.
Okay.
And this one you can look in the book at the sample that they give us, the sample balance sheet. That's what I did, and I was able to see that it was 4, 5, and 6. And since it says would be items 5 and 1, so it was the last one, 4 and 6.
One's commercial banks.
All right, so we're on 14.
Yeah.
The exchange rate?
Yeah, that's the only one that doesn't apply.
And 15 would be the last one.
I put number 4 on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because wasn't that when they talked about, so that changes the federal fund, or the federal fund rate, but doesn't that also, from what they were saying, doesn't it, when they buy securities, doesn't that create money? It seemed like that's what it said at the very beginning, but everything's kind of blurring together at this point. So
Lots of.
So 16. Is that what we're on now? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
For 16, would it be the third one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this one I put the last one
Mm-hmm.
for 17.
That's what I was thinking. Okay, the last two don't even make sense to me because it's saying, right, in the question, it's saying they're selling it to the general public.
Mm-hmm.
Or am I reading it wrong? I would pick the first one.
So on this one, I did number 2. So the Fed. Hold on, fellas. Yeah. So the Feds give the security to the public. The public pays for the securities by writing checks that, when cleared, will decrease commercial banks' reserves at the Fed. So the reserves are on their the checkable deposits that people are holding. So when somebody writes a check against those checkable deposits, then that reduces their reserves. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah. I was thinking of it backwards. I was thinking of they're getting a check and they're going to place more reserves, and so I had it backwards in my head. Yeah. No, but yeah.
I'm not sure on this one.
This one I put number 3.
Okay, that's the one I was looking at. So when it's saying increasing the interest on reserves, are they talking about, I guess just explain it to me, because that's the one I was looking at, but I was kind of confused. I'm assuming that's a good thing.
Yeah, so what it is I think they were saying in 2008, the law changed that allows the Fed to pay interest for the reserves that are held at the Fed. So if banks have their monies in reserves at the Federal Reserve, then the Federal Reserve will pay them interest for keeping that money in the Federal Reserve as reserves.
That's what I was thinking.
So if they increase the interest, then that encourages banks to hold more in reserve because then they're getting more interest.
Right.
I'm not sure on this one either.
Do you know what this one is, Jenny?
No.
Okay, so this one is the quantitative easing, or QE. So what they were doing is, instead of using the bonds, purchasing bonds to increase or decrease the Fed rate, they were just buying them to basically produce more money within the economy.
Okay.
All right, are we ready to submit?
Yep, I think so.
I hope so.
Looks like we've got 100.
Yay!
Okay, cool. So
Yeah, I was going to say,
next
found a
week.
lot of the answers from the book, so.
Oh yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
So is next week our last week that we meet?
Next week will be the last week, and I may or may not be there, just depending on when my wife has the baby. So.
Understandable.
You might have to send us instructions on how to start the video then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody else knows how to do it.
Yeah, if I'm not able to make it, I'll send one of you guys instructions on how to do it. So.
Okay, perfect. Cool. Well, good luck.
Alrighty, and I will go ahead and post our link as well as everything else that has to be done. So.
Perfect.
Alrighty.
Have a good night.
You too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.